Okay, hello students. My name is Kamulegeya. I'm a teacher of chemistry. Last time when I was here, we were discussing what we call electrolysis, and basically in that video, we discussed the basic concept behind the electrolytic cell. In that case, we saw how the cations and anions undergo what we call a discharge. We saw how in that case, in that video, basically I made my discussion basing on sodium chloride. When sodium chloride dissociated in solution, had to give us sodium ions and the chloride ions, whereby the sodium ions had to go to the cathode to be discharged, and the chloride ions had to go to the chloride to the anode to be discharged. In that case, the discharge was very easy. Reason being, our solution was binary. It had one cation and one anion, whereby each of the ion had to go to the respective electrodes to be discharged. But take a scenario whereby you have more than two cations and two anions, whereby you need to select one ion to be discharged at a particular electrode. You see, it may be a bit confusing, but that's what I've come to discuss today, so that we can see how we can select a particular ion to be discharged at a particular electrode. Take a look and see what we're going to discuss. Now, in this case, I have the reactivity series of my elements. As you can see here, I have my cations and I have my anions. What you understand is the cations have to go to the cathode, to the discharge, whereas the anions have to go to the anode. Here the best concept is the positive ions go to the negative electrode to discharge, whereas the negative ions go to the positive electrode to be discharged. Since we know very well that anodes, they are positive electrodes, whereas cathode, they are negative electrodes. Now, in my discussion, let me first concentrate on the cations. Let me first divide this thing into two. And I first make my discussion on the cations. If you are very quick enough, you are seeing that we have our reactivity series. This is the order of the reaction of our elements in chemistry, and the most reactive is going to be on the top, and the least reactive is going to be on the down. In this case, potassium is most reactive, followed by sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, tin, lead, hydrogen, copper, silver, and gold. Now in this case, hydrogen is appearing here, though it's a non-metal, but it appears there. Now, in this case, meaning that the element which is up is most reactive and the element which is down is least reactive. We can say this element is most, whereas this was going to be least. Now, if something is most reactive, meaning that it would react with each and everything around it, meaning that this potassium here can react with air, with water, with acid, with oxygen, with an alkaline, any solution around it can react. Meaning that for it is uncomfortable when it is in the solid state. Therefore, it reacts to form ions. Meaning that this element feels more comfortable when it is in an ionic state. I think that because it is most reactive, it can't stay there alone without reacting. But whereas this element here, the least one, it is less reactive. For it finds it more comfortable to be in an atom state than in an ion state, meaning that it takes long for it to react, implying that it is more comfortable when it is in this state than this state. Whereas the most reactive, it is more comfortable when it is in this state than in this state. Now this thing goes, if that's the case, it will give us a conclusion by saying that, in this case, the element which is down here is going to be more reactive than the element which is up. Reason being, for it wants to react to gain electrons so that it can go back to this state. I think that the element which is down here is going to be more reactive than the element which is up here. Reason being, for it wants to gain electrons. When it gains electrons, it can go back to this state because it feels more comfortable in this state than this state. Therefore, we draw a conclusion by saying that as you move down, you see that? As you move down on the side of the cations, the more reactive the ions are. Whereas here, as you move down on the side of atoms, the less reactive the atoms are. Here, this is more reactive than this one is more reactive than this one. But in this case, we shall not use the word reactive, but we shall use the word easier to discharge. Is it okay? Meaning that this ion here is more easier to discharge to form an atom than the ion up here. Take an example. If you have a solution which contains potassium and gold, that solution contains those cations to be discharged. When these two cations they go to the cathode to be discharged, you'll find out that this gold down here is going to be discharged in preference to potassium. Reason being, for this element here, for this ion here, it wants to get ions. It wants to gain electrons, it gains electrons so that it can form back the gold atom and stabilize. Because we see, but it feels more comfortable, it's like this, that, it's like this. Therefore, we shall select this one in preference to this one. Therefore, we shall say, as you move down, there is higher is of discharge. As you move down the block, you're going to be higher is of discharge of the ion than when you have. Therefore, we select ion, the one which is in the lower position is being discharged in preference to the one which is in the upper position. Take an example. If I have a solution which contains zinc and lead, you see that? Zinc and lead. Both of them, they go to the cathode to be discharged. Which ion is going to be selected? Yes, you guess and see? Your guess is very right. You shall take lead. Lead is going to be discharged in preference to zinc. Reason being, lead is in the lower position than the zinc. Therefore, this one has more, the other is of discharge than zinc. Let me hope you have understood the side of anions. Now, let's go to the ions. To anions. These anions, for them, they go to the anode to be discharged. Also, since they are negatively charged, they go to the anode to be discharged. Also, we follow the same sequence. The lower the element, the easier the discharge. But in this case, we need to note something. We need to note that the sulfate for them, they do not discharge. The same applies to nitrates, for them they do not discharge. Okay, we shall explain why they don't discharge with the time, but as for now, let's keep the thing very basic. So we understand that as you move down, the more reactive the element is, or the more easy the element is being discharged. In simple terms, if you have a solution which contains hydroxide ions and chloride ions, in this case, since if this one and this one, they go to the anode to be discharged, the hydroxide ions are going to be discharged in preference to the chloride ions. Reason being, the hydroxide ions, they're going to be in the lower position compared to the Cl ions. That's the trick behind. Now, there's something I want you to understand. We have these hydroxide ions and the hydrogen ions. We're asking ourselves, how do they come into existence? Now, these ions, they come into existence because of the dilute solution. Basically, they come into existence because of the dilute solutions. How do you get dilute solution? If you have an aqueous solution, if you have an aqueous solution, you may have mineral salt solution, you may have acid solution, you may have alkaline solution. Now this solution basically, if something is aqueous, meaning that it contains some water. If something is aqueous, meaning that it contains some water. In simple terms, the aqueous salt or salt solution, meaning that a particular salt is being dissolved in water. An acidic solution, an acid has been put in water, and also alkaline solution, a base of an alkaline has been put in water. In simple terms, anything which is aqueous, it contains water. And if a substance contains water, you know that water can undergo what we call dissociation. Dissociate is going to give us hydrogen ions plus the hydroxide ions. Now that's how the hydrogen and hydroxide ions are in existence in our reactive procedure. We have the hydroxide ions and the hydrogen ions. Now take an example. You have a solution of sodium chloride. Now this solution of sodium chloride, it will contain sodium chloride and water because it is a solution. you get a solid and a solid and a salt, you mix it with water to get a solution. Like sodium chloride is going to be our common salt. We get this common salt, we put it in water to give us a solution. In simple terms, to give us a dilute solution. Whereby here we're going to have sodium ions and the hydroxide ions. Now, if our solution is a dilute solution, in this case, this is a dilute solution, meaning that it has more of water than the solid. Is it okay? If our solution is going to be dilute, implying that it has more of the solid and it has more of the water than the solid. Anything which is dilute, it has more water than the solid. In this case here, our dilute solution contains more of water than our sodium chloride. When the two dissociate, it will give us the hydrogen ions and the hydroxide ions, and also the sodium to give us the sodium ions and the chloride ions. In this case, this solution will contain these ions, as you can see here. It has the hydrogen, the sodium, it has the hydroxide and the chloride. Whereby this one, they are positive ions, put them the cations, they have to go to the cathode to be discharged. Whereas the hydroxide ions, the hydroxide and the chloride, they are negative ions, they have to go to the anode to be discharged. In this case, you are saying that the hydrogen is here and the sodium is here. Sodium is here and hydrogen is here. Now, of these two, which is going to be discharged first? My dear student, hydrogen is going to be discharged first. Reason being, it is in the lower position than the sodium. Since we say that the lower the element, the easier discharge is. In this case, the sodium, the hydrogen is going to be discharged in preference to sodium ions. Whereas, if we come to these anions also, you are saying that the hydroxide and the chloride are in the solution, they will come here. You are saying the hydroxide is here, whereas the chloride is here. But in this case, which is going to be discharged? We shall discharge the hydroxide ions because they are going to be in the lower position in preference to the chloride ions. In simple terms, for the dilute solutions, we follow the position of a particular ion in the reactivity C. Despite, even though it is the cation of an ion. If something is very dilute, we have to follow what we call the position of that ion in a particular series. Is it okay? In this case, we shall discharge this one. Applies for the dilute solutions, only for the dilute solution. Now take an example. If you have concentrated sodium chloride, concentrated, then so you have conc sodium chloride, meaning that conc sodium chloride, it has more of the sodium chloride than the water. If something is concentrated, it has more of the solute than the water, implying that if our substance is concentrated in this case, it will dissociate in the same way to give us the hydrogen ions, the hydroxide ions, the sodium ions, the chloride ions. But in this case, it has more of the solute than the water. Let's see how we can discharge. We can do the selective discharge of such a compound which is concentrated. In this case, we have the hydrogen and the sodium. We are going to go, we want to discharge one of them. We come to our cations, we see. We take the position. Hydrogens, they are here, and the sodiums, they are there. In this case, we shall discharge the hydrogens because they're in the lower position than sodium. The thing works out, so we discharge in reference to the other. Now when you come to the chloride, now here, the concept changes. The concept does what? Changes. Reason being, we have more of these ones than this one. Is it okay? We have more of this one than this one. Now we are dealing with anions. We have more of the Cl minus than the OH minus. In this case, we know that the CO minus is here and the OH minus is here. But in this case, if the thing is concentrated, we shall not discharge the one which is in the lower position, but we shall discharge the one which has more of the solid. In this case, we shall discharge the chloride ion instead of the hydroxide ion. Reason being, the concentration of chloride ions is too much in the solution than the concentration of the hydroxide ions. Therefore, this one to be discharged for concentrated solution. For concentrated solution, we discharge the one which is more concentrated than the one which is less concentrated. You need to be very critical on that. If you are very keen, you are saying that concentration affect the discharge of an ion, but it does not affect the discharge of the cation. Let me repeat. Concentration affects the discharge of the anion, but it does not affect the discharge of the cation. Is it okay? You can say, you can put a note there, note, and say concentration affects the discharge of an ion. Is it okay? Concentration will affect the discharge of anions, but does not affect the discharge of the cations. Let me hope this video has been of good use, my dear students. Today, what we have discussed is we have done what we call the selective discharge of anions. Basically here, we say that to discharge a particular anion, we need to take the position of that anion in a particular series. In this case, we say that the downer you move the series, the more reactive it is, or the easier to discharge. Meaning that the element or the cation which is down here has more higher chances of discharge than the cation which is up there. The same thing applied also on anions. But we saw that we have an abnormality with concentrated solution. For concentrated solution, the discharge of anion is being affected. But for the discharge of the cation is not affected for concentrated solution. You need to be very keen about that. The discharge of anion is being affected for the concentrated solution, but for the cation is not affected. We saw that something is concentrated, that cation which is more concentrated is more discharged in reference. No, that anion which is more concentrated is discharged, has got higher chances of discharge than the other one which is less concentrated. Let me hope this video has been of good use, my dear students. Feel free to share this information to other students so that we can pass together. Thank you for watching.